Mia, an ordinary teenage girl, discovers one day that she has the ability to see messages coming from other people's smartphones as holograms. At first, she's confused, but soon realizes that this power allows her to peer into the private lives of those around her. As Mia begins to understand her newfound abilities, she becomes increasingly disillusioned with how people use social media, spreading lies, rumors, and hate. Determined to do something about it, she starts using her power to punish those who misuse the digital world, bringing their secrets and crimes to light in a very public way. However, she soon realizes that even the truth can be dangerous, and that the line between hero and villain is far thinner than she expected. Mia had always considered herself an ordinary teenager, living in an ordinary town. Each day, she walked the same tree-lined streets to school, listened to the hum of city life, and lost herself in the world of her smartphone. But on this particular day, something extraordinary would happen, something that would change her life forever. It started as a usual afternoon. Mia was walking through the park, earbuds in, scrolling through her social media feed, when she saw something that made her stop in her tracks. A hologram. At first, it was just a faint shimmer in the air, like a flickering light. But then it sharpened, and she could clearly read the message floating above a woman sitting on a nearby bench. The text was in bold, glowing letters. "She looks so lost, maybe she should just go home." Mia's eyes widened. She glanced around, nobody seemed to notice the message. The woman on the bench was engrossed in her phone, unaware that her private thoughts were now exposed for everyone to see. Was this real? Mia reached out instinctively, her hand brushing the hologram. To her shock, it didn't vanish. The words hovered, suspended in the air. She stared at them, completely stunned. She could see her own thoughts and feelings projected, but this was different. This was someone else's secret, laid bare for all to see. She backed away slowly, confused, but something deep inside her felt an inexplicable thrill. What just happened? As she walked home, Mia's mind raced. Was she hallucinating? Or had she just discovered some kind of superpower? By the time she reached her apartment, her curiosity had overtaken her. She needed to understand what was going on. For the next few days, Mia experimented with her new ability. She sat in coffee shops, walked through the mall, and strolled along busy streets, anywhere there were people. As long as she focused, she could see their private messages projected as holograms. Some were innocuous, a girl texting about her plans for the weekend. Others were more unsettling, a man sending cruel comments about his coworkers. The deeper Mia delved into her newfound power, the more she realized the ugly truth of the world around her. People used social media to spread lies, gossip, and cruelty, often without realizing the impact of their words. One afternoon, Mia was sitting in a cafe when she overheard a group of students talking loudly about a classmate. Mia's gaze shifted, and suddenly, their private messages appeared. One of them, a popular girl named Jessica, had been texting her friends about a quiet girl at school, mocking her appearance and calling her a loser. "Ugh, I can't stand her. Let's make her cry tomorrow. It'll be fun." The hologram floated right above Jessica's head, the words glowing in the air for all to see. Jessica's face turned pale as she looked up, startled. Mia's hand twitched. She could expose the cruelty, make Jessica confront the hurt she was causing, but was that her place? But as the hologram glowed brighter, Mia felt an overwhelming surge of power. With a flick of her fingers, the words hung in the air like a confession, visible to the whole cafe. Jessica's friends froze. Some gasped, others stared in shock, and Jessica looked like she wanted to sink into the floor. Mia's heart raced with excitement, but also with a strange, unsettling feeling. Did I do the right thing? Days turned into weeks, and Mia's use of her powers escalated. She became known around town as someone who always seemed to know what others were thinking. People began to avoid her, and whispers followed her everywhere she went. Mia didn't care. In fact, she reveled in it. She would confront bullies in the schoolyard, watching as their hateful texts and cruel comments became holograms floating in front of him. One by one, she exposed people who used their phones to harm others. One evening, as she was walking through the downtown area, Mia spotted a man sitting on a bench, typing furiously on his phone. His message hovered above his head: "I'm going to cheat on her tonight. She'll never know." Mia's heart sank. This man was texting about betraying someone, a woman he was in a relationship with. Mia's eyes narrowed. She stepped forward, and the words appeared above his head, glowing in the dark evening air. The man looked up, startled, then quickly closed his phone. But it was too late, his secret was now on display. A group of pedestrians had gathered around, watching the hologram in disbelief. The man's face flushed with embarrassment. He started muttering apologies, but Mia didn't let up. She held the hologram in place until the man walked away in shame. As Mia watched him retreat into the night, she felt a mixture of satisfaction and unease. She had started out with a sense of justice, but now, she wasn't so sure anymore. The more Mia exposed, the more she started to question her actions. For every person she exposed, there were consequences, some mild, others far more severe. People lost friends, jobs, relationships. The town was in chaos. The line between right and wrong blurred. One night, Mia sat in her room, her phone in her hands, gazing at a new message she was about to reveal. It was about a friend of hers, someone she had grown close to. The message read, "I can't stand Mia. She thinks she's so much better than everyone." Mia stared at the words, feeling her heart sink. It was one thing to expose strangers, but now it was someone she cared about. She hesitated, her finger hovering over the screen. Should she reveal it? Should she expose her friend's feelings, or let the relationship remain untainted by the truth? The more she thought about it, the more conflicted she became. She had no control over what people said, but she could control what she exposed. She wasn't just punishing others anymore, she was punishing herself too. The power was overwhelming, and Mia realized she might not be able to stop it. Mia made a decision that night. She would stop using her power. She didn't want to be the person who destroyed lives in the name of justice. She didn't want to be the one who decided what was right for everyone else. The next morning, Mia walked to school with her phone in her pocket, determined to leave her power behind. As she passed through the streets, she noticed the familiar messages floating around her, secrets, lies, and private moments, but she didn't reach out. She didn't need to see them anymore. Mia smiled as the sun began to rise over the city. It was a new day, and she was finally ready to live without the weight of other people's truths hanging over her head. As she entered the school courtyard, she saw her friend, the one whose message she'd almost exposed. Instead of confronting her, Mia simply waved. It was enough. Some things were better left unsaid. And for the first time in a long while, Mia felt peace. Did Mia choose wisely? Wow, what a ride! Mia's journey from discovery to self-reflection shows us how powerful truth can be, but also how dangerous it can get. What would you do with a power like that? Tell us in the comments. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss out on our next adventure. And remember, sometimes the hardest truth to face is the one you keep hidden. Like, subscribe, stay curious. Until next time, keep questioning, stay bold, and let's keep discovering the world, one story at a time.